have today? Well, first off, what am I drinking? Soul Boxcar Brandy Old Fashioned. If you watch the channel, you'll have seen this before. It's just to show you how little I actually end up drinking. It's taken me a very long time to get through this bottle. But what do I have today? Dealing with a heat wave in Northern Virginia. A nice, hot, humid April day. Isn't that lovely? But I'm inside and keeping cool. And speaking of keeping cool, Music of the Spheres is Chaos. Dungeon Crawl Classics number 100. A level 5 adventure by Harley Stroh. And this, as the thing says, includes amazing spinning dungeon map. So this is, you know, it's a big old box set adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Alright, try to do that without doing any kind of damage. Now, why do I have this? Obviously, I am a DCC fan. But this is a kind of pricey book. And I am, in spite of what you might think seeing this channel, I'm a bargain hunter because I am not made of cash. And I found a copy of this for, the original price is $64.99, and I found a copy of this for less than $20, a new copy. So I had to pick it up. Now, I'm betting that there is a code. There's not a code. Oh, just one moment. Left either. Okay, well, I'm guessing there's a code in here, and I'm going to try to keep an eye out for it, because I would like to be able to get the special PDF for this. I believe these are the pieces for the spinning dungeon map, which I am not going to assemble on screen for multiple reasons, not the least of which is this is not a setup for doing that. But I'm sure other videos are out there, and you can see that pieces of this map spin. There are additional pieces that connect in to a larger piece, and they also spin. And apparently, as you go through the module, there are like levers or whatever. There are things you can do that affect the shape of the dungeon. This is some kind of, maybe a handout, I'm not sure. Music of the Spheres is Chaos, Players Handouts. Nice. Nice. You know, again, I've mentioned before, Call of Cthulhu guy from way back. I love handouts. Now, some of it is, you know, some of it is just, hey, this is what you see, which I know was a big thing in some of the old D&D modules way back in the day. And part of me has always thought, well, you know, because I always did stuff very, very theater of the mind, I was like, well, I don't want to show somebody. I want to have them imagine. But at the same time, it's kind of handy to say, you open this thing and you see this. And when you have a puzzle of some kind, which is like what I'm assuming this is, it's nice to have that visual. So this stuff's all pretty cool looking. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Probably spoiler alert, I guess. Pardon my mess. Again, I believe handouts of some kind. Probably some kind of puzzle thing. That would be my guess. And there we go. There's the code, so I'll flip past that. Looks like Chronos or something. So let's see. What do we have here? Welcome to the Music of the Spheres is Chaos, our most ambitious adventure to date. In this adventure, the PCs discover a vast complex built for the purpose of mastering raw chaos by trapping it in physical form. This does not... Seriously, I haven't even started on this, really. Let me try that again. This is done by distilling 3 elements, earth, fire, and water, and transmuting the admixture into flesh, soulless and ripe for possession. Nice. Skip. Blah, 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 blah. Music of the Spheres falls within a loose collection of DCC RPG adventures that explore the legacy of lost Agartha. The first is detailed in number 91, Journey to the Center of Earth, and its sequels. Cool. I have Journey to the Center of Earth. I don't have the sequels because they were not available when I started buying up modules, or at least not easily available. While none of these adventures are needed to play this, attentive PCs will recognize the distant echoes of old foes. Nice. That's pretty cool. Let's see, does it say? I'm sure it says in here how many players at what level, etc., that it's meant for, but I'm just not seeing it, and I'm not going to go searching. So here we have a visual of the full map, and I like these encounter chart. Excuse me. An adventure hook, that's nice. Player start. There's a lot of stuff that uses Punjar, their sort of default city, I think, for a lot of Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff. I think that started back with their earlier edition things, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition, that Goodman Games was putting out. I don't have, that I know of, I don't have any of those, so I am not as familiar with Punjar and how it may have been explored in one way or another. But I believe that it is sort of analogous to Lankmar, that kind of classic Hell's a Poppin', everything and the kitchen sink tossed into an urban setting. Which, yeah, great. Sounds good. I am sort of poking around for my own homebrew, I guess, setting for my Dungeon Crawl Classics game. I've been poking around a city. I was calling it I had a name for it, and I was calling it The Last City, but then I ended up going and reading The Nightland by William Hope Hodgson. He has a city that stands in a similar position to what I'm working on called The Last Redoubt, and I'm almost thinking of just lifting that straight up. We'll see. But anyhow. A lot of cool art. Got the various spheres. That's cool. I assume this is quite deadly. That would be my guess. And I don't know if it's the kind of thing where you would want pre-gen characters to run through this and see how far they could get, like a tournament module, or if it's the kind of thing where you actually might work it into an ongoing game. I don't know. I believe that's been spoken about in some of the other videos on this, but I didn't go back and rewatch any of those in the lead up to recording this little thing. Kickboxer. Yeah. Maybe I'd be spending more money on it if it was the Kickboxer. Kickstarter backers list. That's nice. I am not in here. I stopped doing Kickstarters, not even because I was burned necessarily. I just stopped doing them probably 8 years ago, 6 or 8 years ago. Probably 6 years ago, because I was just reading the Yellow King role-playing game, which is one of the last things I did a Kickstarter on. Yeah, cool. The usual ads in the back there. And then we have the big map here. Cool. Now, I believe if you kickstarted this, there was originally like a blank version of this for you to do your own stuff. I think there was like there might have even been a whole other box of material for you. Again, I did not kickstart it. If I were ever going to get back into doing that, I would probably do it for Goodman Game stuff because they just do such cool work and they put so much. Let me just forget half the box. They put so much cool stuff into them, but it's just not something I do. I have my reasons, not the least of which is financial. If I backed a tenth of the projects that I looked at and said, that looks awesome, and I think it's going to, be delivered in a relatively timely manner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I only backed like 10% of those awesome seeming projects, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would not be able to financially viably survive continuing to do that. So I do not do Kickstarters because it can be an addiction, especially because it's so easy to back something and then forget about it and wait 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever it takes for that thing to come in. And then it's Christmas and it's like you never spent that money in the first place, but you did. So I don't do it. However, that said, Goodman Games seems to run real solid projects, so if it is something you do, I don't think they're a company, seemingly, at least at this point. Who knows? Companies sometimes go down eventually, but for now, Goodman Games seems to be a company that gets those things done. It does take them a while. I feel like that's usually about a year from the time a project is finished kickstarting to the time it comes out. I think it's usually about a year, and I don't think it's that unusual for it to be more than that. But that's part of the process, you're paying to get these things, you're paying them so they can pay people to get this thing produced. In a perfect scenario, most of the work is already done, and all you're worrying about is getting stuff finished up and printed. But that's not always the case, and a lot of times companies need this influx of cash to be able to afford to pay artists and to finish editing and to do layout and all that sort of thing. So, look, I don't know. But whatever the case, Goodman Games seems to be a solid company for doing these, and you just got to be patient with them. That's it for me, I guess, for today. Am I going to run this? I don't know. But I certainly think that I'm going to read it and take elements out of it and perhaps work those elements into my game at some point. We'll see. So that's it. Take care.